tough sell in North Carolina. So one of the things I talk about is the seminar, or whatever you call it, that the CAI does down in Myrtle Beach every September, where they have a 3-day thing, and it's all about staying union free.
Yeah.
That's how focused companies are, you know.
And I mean, especially when the Employee Free Choice Act was gaining traction and it was really getting a lot of publicity. I mean, you saw companies' efforts to ramp up against unions like never before. And as you meant, the chambers of commerce, I mean, all over North Carolina, we're having these kinds of seminars, and the various industry groups about how to contact. They're lobbying just as hard as we are, but they're lobbying against the law, but trying to ramp up and get folks ready.
It's kind of like if you're in business, you have to take the oath. I mean, that's the way I think about it.
So do you get to work with the National Labor Relations Board?
I mean, there's appointed people on there, but usually you got some labor folks, but I mean, I personally don't work with them.
How do you see the unions going forward with healthcare and so forth, with all the changes in health reform and all of that? I know that you guys are for health reform. How do you see the unions also helping the workers on that side as that group of people is increasing because of the baby boomers and so forth?
Well, some unions, I mean, they have employer-provided health care that they'll continue to have. But one reason we thought it was so important to fight for health care reform is that, increasingly, that's one reason that companies here in the U.S. can't compete with Mexico or other countries where they have national health care, so you don't have the company bearing that cost. And so that means lower labor costs in those places. But certainly, I mean, unions are trying to work to educate folks about what healthcare reform really means, so that even if you're not a union member, you can get your family to understand what the benefits of healthcare reform are. It's interesting that a lot of the calls that we get in our office for folks that want to organize, they're in the healthcare industry, and there's really not a lot of unions, particularly in North Carolina, organizing those workers. But there's worker issues within healthcare that need to be addressed as well. I'm not sure I really got it exactly what your question was.
Are you guys doing more to work with the healthcare industry to try and get more union organization within that industry as that industry is continuing to grow, with more and more people having to facilitate the baby boomers that are going into that age?
I would say, like I said, I wish that unions would invest in North Carolina, particularly in the healthcare industry. I mean, nationally, there are unions that are doing more organizing within that industry.
I saw some of that on the website, but I didn't really see a lot in this area. So.
Yeah, in North Carolina, really in healthcare, the folks who are organized are at the VA hospitals. They're represented by the American Federation of Government Employees. But in terms of private sector healthcare, not a whole lot of representation in North Carolina at all.